As the young prodigy's ambitions grow, so does his operation. Over the years, the plants have competed in a gold mining showdown.
Parker recently earned $1 million, demonstrating that his success is not just luck, but the result of hard work and strategic planning. The team is in a race against time to extract gold from a vast 90 acres in the wild Yukon before winter strikes. They've already unearthed a staggering 52,000 ounces from 60 acres. But with the season's end looming, 30 acres remain unmined. How can they earn $1 million in such a short amount of time? Let's explore how Parker broke all records with this insane strategy to become a millionaire in no time.
Just 12 years ago, the 16-year-old mining prodigy took over his grandpa John's Alaskan claim. But it wasn't long before he outgrew it.
If I want to play with the big boys, I got to get up here where the big boys play.
Wild race against time in Yukon. At this point in the season, they're diving into the hardest parts of the ground. Lucifer, one of their massive mining machines, has almost finished its assigned section, while Big Red, another huge machine, has just started on a huge area called the runway cut. This part of the land is especially tough because they're moving double the dirt they normally handle, which is really tough on Big Red and the crew. The weather isn't helping either. It's been raining a lot, and the mornings are foggy, which keeps the ground wet and makes it hard to process the gold-laden material.
2 years in the making, Parker's Alaskan mine is finally up and running.
All right, here's the first scoop going in.
Liam Pila, a 25-year-old newbie on the team, is working with what they've got, trying to keep Big Red chugging along despite the mucky conditions. Meanwhile, their equipment is taking a beating. The grizzly bars, which are crucial for keeping big rocks out of the wash plant, are nearly breaking. Mitch gets a call about the bars being out of place and close to falling off. This could ruin the wash plant, so he rushes to shut Big Red down to fix things. They quickly bend metal frames and weld on new plates to patch things up. It's a quick fix, but it shows how rough mining can be. To keep the gold coming, they decide to send some of the material to another wash plant called Lucifer, hoping to maximize their gold output. It's a strategic move to make sure they don't lose out on any gold. Through all these challenges, Mitch's leadership shines. He's recently given a young, eager guy a chance to move up from driving a rock truck to operating a loader. It's about getting more gold, but it's also about giving someone the opportunity to grow. On top of all this, there's a lot going on at Parker Schnabel's Indian River claim. Mitch has to manage a ton of pay dirt quickly as winter approaches. Both Big Red and Lucifer are running non-stop, but then rocks suddenly jam the sluice runs, forcing a shutdown.
Running 2 wash plants, Big Red, and the wash plant straight out of hell.
Lucifer!
Mitch and his crew have to act fast to get things running again. This relentless push to mine so much land isn't just about hard work. It's about strategy and quick thinking, which clearly show why Parker Schnabel's recent $1 million haul is no fluke. It's the result of intense effort, smart planning, and a bit of battling against the elements. This operation is a high-stakes, fast-paced rush to beat the winter and rake in as much gold as possible before the ground freezes. Every moment and every decision counts, adding up to a thrilling race against time in the search for gold. The screens meant to filter out the big chunks and let the gold-rich dirt slip through are pretty delicate. After constant hammering by sharp, heavy rocks, they tear. When that happens, big rocks start mixing with the gold, and all that hard work goes to waste. Fixing this mess means stopping everything. You have to yank out the old screen, put in a new one, and bolt it all back together. While it sounds straightforward, it's a critical fix that needs to happen fast to keep the gold flowing. But let's cut to the chase. This is a dirty, exhausting business. Imagine having to pick out large rocks by hand from the water channels. It's as tiring and frustrating as it sounds. Every minute spent on this cleanup is a minute not spent finding gold. This ongoing battle with rocks and broken screens is a big headache for any miner. Now, when the screen is finally replaced and the wash plant, affectionately known as Big Red, starts running again, it should be a victory moment. But really, it's just part of the endless cycle of breakdowns and repairs. It feels good to see the dirt moving through the machinery again, but the miners know this fix is just temporary. They're always watching, waiting for the next break, the next delay. With machines breaking down and tough times ahead, new challenges and chances pop up, pushing the miners to work harder as they dig deeper. Fred's desperate gold hunt. In the midst of this chaos, there's Fred Lewis, struggling more than most. His mining yield is far below what he'd hoped for, and with the season's end approaching, he's getting desperate. He needs to find enough gold not just to cover costs, but to make sure his team comes back next season. The pressure is immense, and every day with faulty equipment or another setback is a blow to his goals. Then you've got Parker Schnabel, a name synonymous with success in gold mining. His story might seem like one lucky break after another, but it's far from it. The headline of his profits and success barely scratches the surface. This isn't a game of chance. Behind that, millions are a backdrop of constant challenges, broken screens, unpredictable breakdowns, and the never-ending search for gold. It's about persistence, quick thinking, and hard work. Parker's success is built on his ability to manage these endless problems. Every time a screen breaks or a machine goes down, he's there, figuring out a fix, pushing his team, and making sure the gold doesn't stop flowing. It's a tough, gritty reality, far removed from the glamorous treasure hunts some might imagine. The reality of gold mining is grinding. It's a test of endurance, patience, and resilience. It's about dealing with one problem after another, from machinery failures to battling the elements. For every $1,000 made, there's a story of sweat, dirt, and sheer determination. Parker's story isn't about luck. It's about overcoming every obstacle that the wilds of mining throw at him. Fred's mining spot is right between Fairbanks and Dawson, a common stopover for those looking for a bit of guidance in the gritty world of gold mining. Despite his previous dismissive attitude, Fred recently called for some help, hinting at a desperate need for advice on his struggling operation. The complexities of mining seem to escape no one, and Fred's current troubles with his wash plant perfectly illustrate this point.
How long have you been running like that?
The whole season.
All year.
Fred's fixation on a quartz vein from Papua New Guinea, initially disregarded as fruitless, amusingly turned out to contain some gold. This unexpected find underscores a broader theme in mining. It's more about skill and persistence than mere chance. This becomes evident when examining the catastrophic issues with Fred's wash plant. Mismanagement, like overfeeding by just half a scoop, results in immediate and disruptive overflows that stymie the entire gold extraction process to a snail's pace of 1 bucket every 2 minutes. The essential screens of the wash plant have deteriorated alarmingly, draining Fred's resources, a situation that has nearly bankrupted him this season. These screens are so critical that their failure has pushed the entire mining operation to the brink of collapse, threatening to shut it down completely. As the season wears on, these troubles have left Fred in a precarious position, potentially forcing him to cease operations prematurely. This continuous mismanagement stands as a stark contrast to Parker Schnabel's success, who recently netted $1 million, proving that expertise and strategy, not luck, are the cornerstones of profitable mining. While Parker's operations are a testament to meticulous planning and effective strategy, Fred's site is a glaring example of what happens when these elements are lacking. Observers might initially assume that Fred's site is run by beginners, given the array of errors and oversight displayed. Fred, a veteran miner, appears surprisingly unprepared for the rapid wear of his equipment, a fundamental aspect of mining that has caught him off guard and left him scrambling for solutions. The worn-out screens, crucial for separating gold from lesser material, have become a significant headache, revealing a lack of foresight that could have mitigated such a dire situation. This has turned what should have been a routine season into a desperate scramble to find replacements, which won't arrive in time to salvage the losses. The tale of Fred's mining woes is a lesson in the importance of continuous maintenance and understanding the lifespan of critical equipment, lessons that Fred is learning the hard way. Fred's situation is a clear indicator of the importance of preparation and equipment maintenance in mining. Without proper care, even the best setups can fail spectacularly. As the end of the mining season approaches, Fred faces not just a loss in potential gold, but also the reality that his lack of attention to the plant's needs could spell disaster for future operations. As the mining season nears its end, every piece of gold becomes more important, raising the stakes and testing the toughness of each miner in the cold Yukon. Hidden treasures of the Ice Age, unlocked in Yukon. As the mining season winds down, Fred's troubles highlight an essential truth. Overlook your gear and the basics of smart mining, and problems are bound to arise. It's a tough lesson for a veteran miner. People watching and other miners see Fred's situation as a warning of what to avoid, making a stark contrast to Parker's booming operations, where planning ahead and careful management lead to clear success in gold mining. Fred's difficulties serve as a reminder that in mining, like any business, success comes from hard work, being ready, and taking initiative. Traits Fred needs to pick up if he wants to bounce back and do well in the future. Tony's crew is down to the last bits at their mining sites. They're finishing up at their final 2 large areas, which are nearly stripped of gold. And they've even cleaned out another location in search of a promising new spot. As they wrap up one site, Tony quickly moves to explore another area, hoping it holds a good amount of gold. However, it's hard to see the payoff. Last time wasn't great. The gold amount is too small to get excited about, but too significant to completely overlook. They might find something worthwhile, but it's still uncertain. Currently, Tony and his team are hurriedly digging up the remaining gold-rich soil they have. They're always on the lookout for the next big discovery. Meanwhile, a miner in the north has uncovered something different, a very old, frozen baby woolly mammoth in the Yukon's goldfields. This find is interesting because of its excellent preservation and age, over 30,000 years.
Our gold miner in northwest Canada has stumbled upon an incredible, as well as unexpected find, a mummified baby woolly mammoth, thought to be more than 30,000 years old.
But it's not a first. They had previously discovered a prehistoric horse skull, and not long ago, a miner came across a mastodon tusk protruding from the earth. It's captivating, yet not entirely surprising. This recent tusk discovery halted mining in that area so experts could examine it. This delay was poorly timed, as Tony's team was just about to start mining a new promising spot. Now they're waiting, hoping for another opportunity to strike gold. Experts are thrilled as they excavate and examine these ancient remains, hoping to uncover a complete skull. They've unearthed a long tusk from a mammoth, determining it belonged to a male around 30 years old at death. While this excites scientists, Tony and his team are eager to resume their gold hunt. Once the experts finish and clear the site, mining resumes. But the pressure is on to move quickly as they're running low on gold-rich soil. They're trying to relocate their equipment to a new spot without dismantling it. A tricky and risky move late in the season. They're proceeding with caution, but the equipment is unstable and might fail at any moment. They all feel the urgency, knowing they need a significant discovery soon to sustain operations. Imagine setting up a makeshift runway in the wild with absolutely no flight control or schedule, where planes could potentially land at any moment. This is the precarious setup where Tyson, acting as an impromptu lookout, is the only line of defense against potential chaos. Amidst this uncertainty, they're trying to transport a huge wash plant, nicknamed Lucifer, across the runway. This is not just a logistical nightmare, but also a gamble with high stakes, considering the sheer size of the plant in the narrow, ill-prepared runway. This operation was initiated with minimal planning, resembling a hastily arranged game rather than a well-thought-out project. Lucifer itself is a massive beast, stretching 32 feet wide, demanding that the already narrow pathway be widened just to accommodate its girth. The entire scenario is a disaster waiting to happen. Every move they make with the wash plant risks severe consequences, like ripping off a part of the machinery, or worse, causing an accident with incoming aircraft. As they painstakingly maneuver the plant, every moment is tense with the risk of an unexpected plane appearance. It's a continuous dance of stopping, looking, and moving again, all while trying to avoid a catastrophic collision. Then, as if the universe has a sense of humor, just as they think they're in the clear, another plane shows up, ramping up the tension further. This operation is turning out to be less of a strategic maneuver and more of a desperate scramble across the airstrip. As winter gets closer, the need for big discoveries grows, pushing the mining crews to find new ways to win as they search for gold under the frozen land. Escaping winter's clutches with Yukon gold hours into this high-stress ballet, they finally manage to get Lucifer across the runway. But the ordeal doesn't end there. Now they face another colossal task: lifting this heavy machinery onto a platform, a process fraught with its own set of challenges. Mitch, in charge of the operation, seems to be handling the plant with all the delicacy of a bull in a china shop, trying to guide this enormous structure onto its new base. The process is clumsy and fraught with potential errors, each step a potential for flipping the whole plant over. Once Lucifer is finally in place, they begin processing the soil for gold. The anticipation is high. After all this effort, the payoff should be substantial, right? However, the initial results from the gold extraction are underwhelming. They collect gold from various sections of the operation, each batch yielding a decent amount, but nothing spectacular. Despite the lack of impressive finds, the team is relentless, driven by the promise of striking it big, or at least achieving consistent results. Through this whole process, the conversation is casual, filled with jargon and nicknames for machinery like Big Red and Lucifer. The dialogue reflects a blend of technical expertise and informal banter, illustrating the team's familiarity with the perilous dance of mining and machinery. They discuss potential mechanical failures and operational challenges as if they were mere nuisances rather than serious threats to their safety and success. This gold mining venture, riddled with logistical nightmares and risky maneuvers, is more than just a search for precious metal. It's an adrenaline-fueled drama unfolding in the wilderness. The team's determination to push through the chaos, to mine not just for gold but for a story of triumph against odds, paints a vivid picture of their daily grind. The excitement, the danger, the challenge. It's all in a day's work for these miners, who seem to find as much value in the adventure as in the gold they eventually unearth. Parker Schnabel recently raked in a whopping $1 million and insists it's all because of his skills, not just pure luck. As the mining season winds down, there's a mad rush to extract as much gold as possible before the harsh winter freezes everything in place. Day and night, the crew is hard at work, racing against the cold that threatens to turn their equipment into unusable blocks of ice. They're wrapping machinery in tarps and blasting heat from big heaters, trying desperately to keep the soil soft enough to dig through.
For the final push, Mitch and Tyson will run Big Red through the freezing night to protect the sluices.
Mitch and Tyson are pulling all-nighters, operating the big machine known as Big Red, churning through cold, hard earth. The entire operation looks like some sort of frozen factory, with rocks constantly moving through the system. They're all too familiar with the havoc that a frozen machine can wreak, having dealt with it before, and they're doing everything they can to avoid a repeat. The team keeps busy, fixing jams in the machinery, probably caused by the icy conditions. They work through the night, adjusting and fixing, visible breath in the cold air, aiming to finish up before the sun rises. But things rarely go as planned in the unforgiving Yukon, as breakdowns and malfunctions add stress and delay to their already hectic night. While battling the elements, Parker takes a moment to look back over the past decade. He's overseen the extraction of over 50,000 ounces of gold, a truly impressive number. He also reflects on watching a young man grow up in the tough world of gold mining, framing it as a heartwarming side story to the gritty day-to-day of their business. As the season comes to a close with one final weigh-in at the Indian River claim, everyone's on edge to see if they'll beat last year's record. The gold weigh-ins begin and the numbers start climbing, each ounce adding up and bringing them closer to yet another multi-million-dollar season. Despite this huge amount of money, Parker keeps his feet on the ground, already planning the next big mining venture, keen to keep his team together and their operations running smoothly. When all the gold is weighed and the season's total comes to nearly $14 million, there's a mix of relief and excitement. Although Alaska has been tougher than expected, making their success at their current location even sweeter.
And this year we mined just about 4 million square feet. And it took everybody here. I just really want to thank you guys for the effort that you've put out.
Parker gathers his team. He thanks them and expresses a strong desire to stick together and face whatever challenges come next. Could Parker's success truly be just hard work, Or is there a hidden gem behind his gold rush? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.